Learn to control, dribble, shoot and pass. This is an absolute beginner's guide to football. It's a compilation of my best training that's going to get you from 0 to 100 very quickly.
Make the ball stick to your feet when dribbling. Learn the art of close control.
Let's go. So I had a friend who practiced a lot of really advanced dribbling skills, but no matter what he tried, he just couldn't beat his opponents. And that's because he lacked 3 fundamental skills, which are actually very easy to learn. First, we will start by moving in a forward direction with control. And for that, I do what I call the glide. The mistake I used to make was that I would kick the ball and then chase after it like a dog. No control. If you kick the ball, it moves too quickly and it's hard to keep up. So instead of kicking it, you need to push the ball. First, angle your foot inwards like this. We're going to touch the ball in any part around this part of our foot. We will bend our knee and then extend it forward slowly so that you push it. So see how the ball rolls along with my foot, which is very different from when I kick the ball away. Practice this for a while so that you understand how it works. Make sure to keep this foot steady. Don't let it hang loose. The more steady you keep it, the more control you'll have. Okay, you beautiful footballer, now we're going to do it with a leap. You might be asking, Sayed, why are your shoes so dirty? The reason for that, my friend, is because I'm lazy. But if you take a closer look at my shoes, you'll see that my right shoe is quite dirty. My left shoe is relatively clean, but the sole on my left foot is pretty worn out. That's because my left foot is my support foot, and that's on the ground most of the time. It does all the support activities, such as pushing my body and stopping and turning. Whereas my right leg is my attack leg. It's in the air most of the time, and it does all the finer touches. If you want to get good at dribbling, you should also specialize each foot like that. So now we will use our support leg to push our body forward. And as I'm in the air, I will push the ball along. I leap in the air and I push it, but the ball still sticks to my foot. Try it from a shorter distance. Also try it from a longer distance. When I'm done with the leap, I will land on my attack foot. Then I will repeat the process. As I land, I will bring my support leg forward and then push myself again. We will continuously hop forward like a frog. Here's a secret I'm going to teach you that's going to trick your enemies. You will accelerate with every step that you take. So the first push will be sort of slow. The second push will be faster. The third push will get me to nearly full speed. So when I first started practicing this, I had no control. My touches were very rough, but I practiced it for about 50 times a day. And in 2 weeks' time, something amazing happened. Started getting an understanding of my foot and my touch got really light. Then I started having a lot more control with my glide. So I'd like you to keep this in mind as well. Your touch is going to be rough in the beginning, but with continuous practice, you will build skill muscles and you'll start having a finer touch. So now we know how to run straight, but that's not enough. We need to know how to move towards your inside and your outside. Now we're going to learn how to move towards your outside. To move outwards, it's the same technique as a glide. Instead of pushing our body forward, we will step to the side of the ball and we will push our body to the outside. Angle your foot inwards, we'll step to the side of the ball and we'll push the ball towards our outside. A nice way to practice this is by doing the circle drill. Simply step next to the ball and glide to the side and continuously keep going sidewards. Start slow and pick up the pace. Now we know how to move forward and towards our outside. Now how do we move towards our inside? For this, the technique is slightly different. Instead of angling our foot inwards, we are going to angle our foot outwards. We will use this instep part of our foot. Remember to keep your foot steady. Don't flap it around like a fish. Be strong. Keep the ball closer to your attack foot. Now we will use our support leg and we will hop towards the inside, like this. As we pull our body to the side, we will drag the ball with our attack foot, like this. It's not a hit movement. Drag the ball like that. The ball will roll with our foot. And then we will land on our attack foot. To continue, we will place our support foot in front again and we will continue the process. Okay, you mesmerizing footballer, I really enjoy making these type of videos. If I could do this full time, I'd be really happy with myself. But until then, what would make me really happy is to know that these videos are helping you. So please comment and let me know if this is helpful. Now we know how to move forward, move inwards and outwards. The last thing remaining is the ability to stop and turn. Stop and turns are complete stops in momentum. If you find yourself running into trouble, you can do a stop and turn to get out of it. If only I could do that with other things in life. First, let's learn the outstep stop. We will start slightly behind the ball, angle your foot outwards. We'll extend our foot forward, chop it backwards like that. You'll land on your attack foot. We'll use the edge of our foot to stop the ball. Now let's try it while it's moving. Glide with the ball slowly, extend your foot and do the stop. And turn your body fully as you do so that you're facing the other direction. Your body weight will shift onto your attack foot. And then you place your support foot down so that you're ready to run off in the other direction. Now we're going to learn the instep stop and turn. We will angle our foot inwards as much as we can. Please don't break your foot. I like to touch it deep in the instep over here. Foot will sort of hug the ball like this. Extend your foot, stop. A nice way to practice is by doing one glide forward and doing the stop. So glide forward, stop. Okay, you good-looking, intelligent footballer, you. With these three abilities, you will have close control. But to beat your opponents in 1v1 situations, you need to learn 1v1 skills. Comment if you want me to make a video on 1v1 skills. Otherwise, you could also check out my course at www.bowlerskills.com, where I go deep into 1v1 mastery. Okay, once you learned all these different skills, do this drill. It'll help you pull it all together. The best way to master this is inside your house, running in between corridors. I don't want your parents or spouse to attack me, so instead, we're going to practice it out here. Place two obstacles about 10 meters apart. We will glide 4 times. Remember to accelerate with every step. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll end with an outstep stop over here. Then we'll turn our body, and then we'll do 4 or 5 instep drags. Instep stop.
Learn the art of 1v1s. Beat your opponents every time.
To be a master of 1v1, you need 3 things. Exit strategies, awareness of enemy movements, and thirdly, skills that allow you to manipulate your enemy's movements and let you exit safely. Sayed, I hear you ask, what exactly is an exit strategy? An exit, my friend, is the last skill that you do to beat your opponent and get away from them. Your enemy's job is to try and predict your exit so that they can get in front of you, or to try and stop you before you can do your exit. Common exit skills include in-step cut, outstep cut, and sometimes a roll. You fantastic footballer, I know what you're thinking. What are enemy movements and how do I manipulate them? When you're dribbling, your opponent's going to try and predict the direction that you're going to go in, and he's most likely going to go towards that direction. If you can manipulate the direction that he goes towards, you've won half the battle. So I'm going to teach you skills that's going to help you manipulate your enemy's movements and give you safe spaces to exit. Let's start. Let's assume that you have no abilities, no close control, no skills, you're slow. A crab has more skills than you, so what do? First of all, tell yourself that you're a glorious footballer, because you are. And since we're a beetle right now, I cannot move towards our opponent. We'll have to wait for them to come to us. We'll use body language and their own movements to beat them. We're going to set some traps. Body language is the most basic form of a feint. If I angle my body this way and I lift my leg up like this, it looks as if I'm going to pass. Now, if I can successfully fool him, he's most likely going to go for the tackle over there. Instead of passing, I can cut this way. Since we're a beetle right now and our opponents think we're weak, they're most likely going to confidently charge into the tackle, and we will use this against them. And when your opponent goes for the tackle, there'll be a moment where he will commit to the tackle. And the thing is, at that point, he cannot actually change his direction, which will open up a small window of opportunity. You will exploit that moment. So when my opponent comes straight towards me, I will angle my body towards my dominant side. For me, that's my right. I'll angle my body this way. I will shape my body so that it looks as if I'm going to pass or run. So I'll bend down slightly and I'll lift my leg up. And then I will wait for the right moment. And that moment is when he goes in for the tackle. At first, it might be hard to predict this, but with experience, you'll be able to pick these up quickly. And usually when someone moves in for a tackle, they'll either speed up or they will change their pattern. If they're moving slowly, they might just speed up for the tackle, or they might change direction. If I successfully fool him with my body language, he's most likely going to move into that direction, which leaves this angle over here free for me. So as he goes for the tackle, I will cut this direction and I will run. We'll be doing the instep cut to do the exit. To do the instep cut, first angle your foot outwards like that, and then we will do a sudden change in direction like this. Be a snapping movement like that. You have to do it kind of quickly to try and get power. We will make contact around our toe bone area. So it's important that we don't do the cut and stay in one place. After you do the snap, you want to transfer all of your weight onto your attack leg. You lift your support leg up so that all your weight gets transferred onto your attack leg, because this will allow you to start running straight away. It's not just about beating the opponent, you have to get away as well. So we will snap, we will burst off using the same foot and run. Right about now, you might be feeling excited and you want to go and try this against your opponent. Hold on, buddy, we'll get there. Before you try it against an opponent, you first need to master it in training. So practice this instep cut 50 times a day until you've mastered it. Make sure to keep the ball close to your foot so that you're ready for action. I want you to practice this with an imaginary opponent. Imagine your opponent coming towards you in this direction. Then imagine him going in for the tackle. As soon as your imaginary opponent commits to the tackle, cut and burst. Now this is a simple skill to learn, but your timing on this has to be impeccable. The reality is, the less skills and abilities you have, the more you have to rely on things such as timing. When you have more skills, you can rely less on timing because you'll be manipulating your enemy's movements. The second skill I want you to learn is this, a simple 3-step skill. It's going to be the same as the previous skill that we learned. As opponents coming towards us, we're going to angle our body outwards like this, but this time we're going to play a bit with his mind. And since I'm in this direction and my leg is up, it looks as if I'm going to pass or run in this direction. But instead, I'm going to pull the ball back, which will confuse him a little bit, because then he'll be like, okay, should I go towards this direction here, or is he going to move there? And then I pull the ball back again, further confusing him. This will most likely make him commit to this tackle over here because his brain is overwhelmed right now. As soon as I visibly can see him going towards this direction, I quickly snap and I run. For this skill, you actually have to start when he's a bit further away. You have to give yourself time to be able to complete this move. So usually when your opponent is about 2 meters away, that's when you can start doing this movement. Now feel free to do the first 2 skills slowly. The pulls. When you're doing the pull, you're actually going to watch your enemy's movement. Then when he gets about half a meter from you, you will quickly do the snap. Notice the change in speed when I do the snap. Make sure you try and do it as close to the opponent as possible. When my opponent is very close to me, about a meter or half a meter away, and I do the instep cut, when he commits to the wrong direction, he will have no time to recover, at which point I have completely beaten him. First, use the sole of your foot around the toe area. Flick your ankle backwards like this. Flick. If you're not able to roll it fast enough, you might need to put a bit more pressure on the ball. So when I put weight on the ball, there's a lot more pressure on it, which actually gives me a lot more grip on the ball. So if I pull now, it moves much faster. Pull, hop and change direction, stop. Put weight on the ball, pull it back towards you so that you can snap. And same as before, practice this 50 times a day until you're comfortable with it. If you're feeling, Sayed, 3 moves is too difficult for me, don't worry buddy, let's do an easier version. We're just going to do 2 moves. For this version, we're going to face the direction we're going to exit in. So when our opponent is approaching us straight on, we're first going to angle our body in this direction. When he's about a meter away, pull the ball to this side over here, and I'm going to change the direction of my body. So from like this to that. That's going to confuse him, and it's going to make him think that I'm going to run off in this direction. As I visibly see them coming towards this direction, I'm going to do the instep cut. I want you to practice each of these skills 50 times a day until you're very comfortable with all of them. Once you're comfortable with it, then you can go and try it against an opponent. First, find a low-level opponent, someone you're not scared to face. If you fail at first, it's fine. Keep trying it till you get it. If you beat someone with these skills, congratulations. You're no longer a beetle, you're now a spider. I personally do not like playing like a spider because it's a vulnerable position to be in. I don't like being approached. I like doing the approaching. I like being the beast that they fear. Does it sound nice to you? Of course it does, because you have a beast inside you as well. Let me show you how you can be an excellent beast. For the next part, you need to have close control. Once you have the ability to move towards your opponent, something interesting is going to happen. You are going to create imaginary lines. These imaginary lines will be mirrored by your opponents. Let me show you from a top view. So this is you, the superstar, and this over here is your opponent. If you move towards the left of your opponent, you create an imaginary line towards the left. Your opponent has to mirror this and move in a diagonal as well. They also have to match your speed, so the faster you move, the faster they have to move. We're going to use your enemy's movement and their speed against them. When you glide, you push the ball. When you do a cut, you don't have to push the ball, you can hit the ball. The transition between the glide and the cut is usually a very quick change in pace, and this change in pace will help you throw your opponent off as well. We will first learn the outstep cut. If we had to try and dodge our opponent without the ball, I would first step on the side of my opponent, which kind of throws him off a bit, and then quickly dash towards the side. We're going to use the same concept, but now we're going to do it with a ball. First, stand on your support leg. We're going to keep our attack leg up. We're going to hop to the side of the ball with our support leg like this. As soon as we land, we will propel our body to the side like that. As you propel our body, we will cut the ball along. Keep your attack foot faced inwards. We're going to touch the ball between our toes and laces. We will bend our leg up so that it's shaped like this, so that when we cut the ball, it touches this area here, like that. When I land with my support foot down, I angle my support foot a bit to the side so that all the weight rests on the edge of my foot, which allows me to push my body faster. Let's do it while gliding. The beauty of this technique is that it seamlessly fits in with the glide, because when we glide, we hop forward anyway. So I actually like to do my cut mid-glide. This makes it very hard for your opponent to read your cut. We will first do a glide, like that. And halfway through the glide, I will quickly place my support foot to the side and then cut outwards. When going up directly against your opponent, you will go up against 3 typical type of defenders. First type I call the cones. These guys usually stand in one spot and hardly move. The most they will do is just extend their leg to try and stop you. It's either that or they move so slow in comparison to you that they appear to be cones. These guys are very easy to beat. The second type of defender are the Brexit types. These guys think they're Sergio Ramos. They try and stop you before you can do your exit. You have to be a bit careful of these guys. They might just swipe you off your feet. But if you know how, they become very easy to beat. They usually commit so deeply into their tackle that if they miss you, they cancel themselves out. The third type of defender is who I call the boss types. These guys, I love playing against them. They tend to follow your movements so that they can predict your exit. Sometimes they try and push you towards a direction that they know will put you in a weak position, such as pushing you towards the corner. They're wicked smart. Let me show you how you can beat each of these types. When running towards your opponent, there are two strategies that you can take. The first type is where you run away from your opponent. So if my opponent is straight, I'm going to glide towards this side over here. He's going to try and intercept me over there, at which point I'm going to do an outstep cut to move inwards. I can also do the opposite, where I run in that direction. When my opponent tries to meet me over there, I do an instep cut and I move towards the other direction. If you can cut at the right time, they will fly right past you. If you're facing Brexit types, this might trigger a slide tackle, which is fine. You just have to anticipate it and cut just as they do the tackle. This running away strategy might work well against Brexit types, but it becomes very difficult against boss types. Because the boss types don't recklessly go in for the tackle, they follow you around and wait for you to do the exit before they go in for the tackle. Even when you run away from them, when they try and intercept you, they won't get right in front of you. Instead, they will block off important directions, and he will only go in for the tackle when you do the exit. They usually keep some distance between you and them, so that when you do the exit, they can react in time and get in front of you. So a better strategy is to run directly towards them, so that they have to face you in a direct duel. Take the fight to them. I prefer this strategy. This actually cancels out boss type defenders from pushing you into the corner. So let's focus more on the direct duel. It's important that you have a deep understanding of exits. So let's dive in. The first thing you need to understand is your optimal space for exit. If my opponent is 2 meters or more away from me, and I do the exit from here, he's definitely going to be able to react to my exit. Unless I have mad amounts of speed, this distance for exit is not going to work for me. If my opponent is about 1 meter away from me, and I do the exit from this distance, my opponent's most likely going to read the movement, but their reaction time won't be fast enough to stop me, depending on my speed, of course. My favorite distance for exit is less than 1 meter, very up close and personal. When I exit from this distance, two things happen. They smell my deodorant as I pass them. The chances are higher that they can't read my exit. Even if they do, they have no chance of reacting in time. With experience, you will learn your optimal distance for exit. If you're a beginner, just keep it within the 1 meter range. It's a very nice range to do your exits in. The best skills for exiting is the instep cut and the outstep cut. Even when you learn higher level skills, they will still revolve around the instep cut and the outstep cut. Right, you future superstar, let's learn how to do the outstep cut against different opponents. Let's first start with the cone. When you're going up against cones, you can practice using cones. Now, I don't have a cone with me, so I'm going to use my tripod. Stand about 4 meters away from your obstacle. Going to glide a few times towards our opponent. Around the 1 meter mark, we will do the outstep cut to exit to the right. Sometimes you might not have 4 meters to run towards your opponent, so it's important that you can do it from a short distance as well. Place yourself 2 meters away from your opponent, do 1 glide forward, and then do the outstep cut. Now let's do the instep cut against a cone. It's the same technique as I showed you before. First, angle your body towards the inside, and then we will snap our foot and cut towards the outside. But this time we'll do it with a glide. We will first glide forward. Because it's more difficult to change the angle of your body while you're gliding, we're first going to step in front of the ball. We're going to angle our body towards our inside, and then we'll do the cut towards our outside. Because the ball rolls forward, by the time we do the cut, it will be in front of us. So practice this from 4 meters away from your opponent, and then 2 meters away from your opponent. Alright, you destroyer, let's learn how to beat the Brexit types. The problem with the Brexit types is that they will lunge at you without any warning, which can take you by surprise. These players love to get physical, and sometimes they charge towards you, so you lose your speed advantage. But the nice thing is, if you can anticipate their tackle, beating them becomes very easy. But when we approach the Brexit type players, we have to do it tactically, and we have to wait for them to make the first move. And since these guys are not predictable like the cones, so training with a cone is not going to help. We have to be a lot more creative. The best way to practice creativity is with our imagination. We will be approaching our opponent slowly. We first need to be able to glide slowly and then do a quick change in pace. To glide slowly, we're going to take shorter pushes, so at a moment's notice, we can burst. So to practice this, we're just going to glide around randomly with short steps. And then imagine your opponent coming towards you. And imagine the moment where he goes for the tackle, and then do the outstep cut. You can also bait the Brexit type player to make the tackle in a wrong direction. To do this, we will create fake lines, which will bait them to tackle in the wrong direction. To create a fake line, we will first glide directly towards our opponent. We do a few soft pushes towards his direction, then we will change our direction as we get closer to him. This will create a fake line this way. The Brexit guys will most likely tackle at this point. And as soon as I see them go for the tackle, I'll do an instep cut. Run towards them first. You're close to them, about 2 meters away. Start changing your direction. So I'm going to go forward and then diagonal. And then do a sudden and quick cut. Another style you can use, drag the ball towards your left to bait your opponent in. As soon as they go for the tackle, you do an outstep cut. To do it against the boss types, we're going to have to crank up our speed. The boss types typically move backwards because they want to create a distance between you and them, so that when you do the exit, they have enough time to react. And they're always waiting for your exit, so they will only commit when you do the exit. The thing is, when you do the exit, you're actually at your most vulnerable because you've committed to that exit. If they can predict or react to your exit accurately, then you'll be the one in trouble. So what do we do when they start giving themselves some space? We close that gap with speed. So a nice strategy is to create fake exits. One great move is the outstep to instep cut. This is not the same as gliding towards the side and then cutting inwards. For this, we'll actually do the outstep cut, then the instep cut straight away. So you actually do the hop and cut inwards. So let's first do it with a still ball. Stand on your support foot, hop next to the ball and cut outwards. Then you step next to the ball with your support foot so that you're facing the outside. Then straight away extend your foot out and cut inside. Practice this instep outstep until you're used to it. You will do this when you're about a meter from your opponent. If he's running backwards, you need to glide towards him until you've covered that distance. When you're about a meter from him, that's when you'll do the skill. Glide at a medium to fast pace. Enough for you to cover the distance between yourself and your opponent. Don't go at full speed. You're going to lose control. Your exit will be at nearly full speed. Now I will teach you an even faster skill, the drag step cut. We first angle our foot outwards. We'll keep our weight on our support leg. We will use this to hop to the side. As we hop, we will drag the ball along. It's a push motion, and then we will step next to the ball. This step perfectly sets you up to do the outstep cut. So the weight on my support leg will help me push my body towards the outside. This move works best when you're about 1.5 meters away from your opponent. First, practice this with a still ball. Then practice it with a medium-paced glide against an obstacle. Then practice against imaginary opponents. Practice each of these skills 50 times a day until you've mastered it. Then go try it against a low-level opponent. And if you've successfully beaten your opponent with these skills, congratulations, you are now a beast. Now let's take this to the next level, the phantom level. We are going to add feints to our skills. Feints are a form of fake exits. Let's first start with the fake outstep. When we did the outstep cut, we hopped and pushed the ball. When we do the outstep feint, we do the same movement. But this time, instead of cutting outwards, we're just going to go past the ball. So it looks as if we're going to commit to an exit. Our body shape has to sell the feint. When I exit with an outstep cut, look at how my body looks. My body has to look the same way when I'm doing the feint. So when I'm like this looks as if I'm running. If done successfully, it should cause your opponent to go for the tackle there. When he does, then we just have to lean towards the other side. Like that, and then we drag the ball along. Then practice it with a slow glide. Now let's up-level this skill. Let's do Messi's La Coqueta. Once you've mastered the outstep fake, all we're going to do after the outstep drag is use our support foot to stop the ball. So all you have to practice now is the shifting of your weight and stopping the ball. When you do the drag, your weight is on your support leg because our attack leg is dragging the ball to the side. We will quickly shift our weight onto our attack leg. So like this. Push, shift, stop. Extend your support leg as far as you need to stop the ball. So if your opponent's there, you do the feint. If they go towards this tackle, you do the shift. You've beaten your opponent and the ball is by your feet, ready for you to do the next skill. Now practice this with a slow glide. Now I'm going to teach you a very easy feint. It doesn't require much effort. I call this the lazy leg. So before you do the outstep cut, we're going to hover our leg on top of the ball for a little bit. So first you hop, bend your leg like this, your body's face slightly away from the opponent. The ball is always at my center when I do this, so I'm not far away from the ball. The ball is still at my center. And then you swing your leg to the side to cut. I can also hop a few times to try and bait the player to make a move. As soon as I make a move, I hop to the side and cut. To be a successful phantom, you want to mix it up. In a match, you want to do basic cuts, a combination of these cuts, and throw in feints as well. This will always keep your enemy confused. Each of the skills that I taught you builds on one another. Now, there are literally hundreds of combinations that you can do at each level. I do have a course where we go through a lot more of these skills. Going forward, I'll be adding a lot more advanced skills to this course. If you're interested, please go check it out at www.bowlerskills.com. Otherwise, you can comment and let me know any specific skill that you want to learn, and I'll make a dedicated video on those skills. Now, you might be wondering, Sayed, why your belly so fat? That's because I work a full-time job and I'm sitting most of the time. I also love chocolate. And because my fitness isn't at 100% right now, my success rate with 1v1s has dropped to about 85 to 90%. When I was a professional athlete and trained on a daily basis, my success rate was somewhere around 98%. So fitness plays a big part in 1v1s. So you might be wondering, Sayed, when I dribble, where do I look? Me personally, I always look at my opponent's feet. When I'm gliding with the ball, I might actually look up and around so I can see my surroundings. When I engage in the 1v1, I always look at my opponent's feet. I'm actually not looking directly at the ball. I'm sort of looking in a space above the ball. When I look at this angle, I'm looking there, but I can still see the ball in my peripheral vision. That's enough for me to glide and do cuts. So keep your head down, but your eyes slightly up. When you're a complete beginner, don't worry about this. Practice looking at the ball. Because you have to get used to the movement, you have to build the ball-eye coordination. Once you've built that, you'll find that you can actually look up and dribble and you will still have the coordination. So once you're at a good level, start practicing by looking above the ball. I have an almost 180-degree view of the space around me. Learn devastating body feints. Send your opponent shopping by using only your body. I'll show you a few very effective, very easy to do feints which look super cool. At the end of this video, I'll tell you the one ability that you need that's going to make your feints super diabolical. Most elite dribblers such as Messi, Neymar, the Ronaldos, Lamine Yamal, they have this ability. I'll let you know what this ability is and how you can get this. When I was young, I was a very special dribbler. I caused immense destruction and psychological damage to myself. But after watching hours of dribbling compilations of the original Ronaldo and many hours of practice later, I finally destroyed my first opponent by using a body feint. It left both him and I with our mouths open. That feint gave me so much confidence that it improved my dribbling for life. When doing a feint, you want to make use of your shoulders and knees. Let's pretend to play cat and mouse. On the mouse, you're the cat. I'm going to run towards you and you have to try and catch me. My strategy is going to be to feint you to the left and run to the right. If I do it like this, you might fall for it, but it's too predictable. If I do it like this, by dropping my shoulder and knees, the chances are higher that you will fall for it. There are two main ways of dribbling. The first way is to bait your opponent in. You draw out the tackle from them. As soon as they start their tackle, you beat them with your skill. When doing the baiting style, you don't want to be too close to your opponent. If they're really close, they can just toe poke the ball away. If they're at a distance, they have to leap forward to tackle. We basically want to draw out this leap. When looking out for this leap, don't look at your opponent's front leg. Instead, you should be looking at the top part of his back leg. Because just before he does his leap, he's going to move his back leg first. He will either step back and push forward, or he will simply hop forward. So as soon as you see his back leg moving either backwards or you see the top part of his leg pushing down, and as soon as he commits, that's when you do your skill. The second way is the direct way, where you don't wait for your opponent. Instead, you go straight after them. You do your skills to put them on the back foot, and then you burst and exit away before they can react. I prefer to go directly at my opponent. I do my feints and cuts very close to my opponent, so I do them before my opponent can think and move. The lunge feint. This is the easiest of all feints. Start with your support foot next to the ball and slightly behind. Keep your attack leg about half a meter away from your support leg. Tilt your upper body down. Then face your shoulder towards the ball like this. By doing this, it will make it look as if I'm going to run in that direction. Instead, I'm just going to step over the ball. Swing your thigh to the side and step across the ball in a circular motion. Your attack foot should land in front of the ball. As you do this motion, lift your support leg up like that. Then bring your support leg to the side and turn this leg towards the ball. Now your entire body should be on the other side of the ball. Then place your weight on your support leg and cut to the other side. If you do this properly, your opponent should follow you to this direction or at least stall. So straight away, you need to cut to the other side. You can do a slightly more advanced version by first pushing the ball to the side and then you lunge in that direction and cut the other way. You can also use this when your back is faced towards your opponent. I will do the lunge in this direction. That should make my opponent go to this side. I will turn my body to the side and use my support leg to push my body to run this way. It has to be done quickly though. The fake outstep cut. For this feint, we are going to fake doing an outstep cut. An outstep cut actually already has a feint baked into it. When doing an outstep cut, we first run forward towards our opponent. Then we hop to the side of the ball using our support leg, and then we cut across with our attack leg. So the hop to the side is a feint. This should make your opponent's legs go slightly to the side, and then we burst off in the opposite direction as fast as we can. Run forward at a medium pace. The hop to the side will be around the same pace, but your cut and burst off has to be very quick. To do the fake outstep cut, start with both of your legs on the side of the ball, but Keep your attack foot close to the ball. Put weight on your support leg so that you can push your body to the side. But instead of making contact with the ball, our foot will go behind the ball, like that. As you go past the ball, drop your shoulder down to sell the feint. Put all your weight on this foot so that you can cut to the other side. So when we do the outstep cut feint, we have to change up the pacing to be able to fool our opponent. So first we run forward at a medium pace, then we hop to the side at the same pace. We have to pick up the pace when we do this feint. Then we lift up our support leg and we cut to the other side. Now we're going to add one extra feint to this move. So it's almost like a triple feint. So we'll step to the side, feint to one side, feint again, and then cut to the side. First we run straight towards our opponent. Then we step to the side slowly, feint, feint, move. So you might be asking, Sayed, how do I pace my feints? It's actually not about how fast you do the feints. It's actually how fast you can change your pace. So it's not about speed, it's about acceleration. When doing multiple feints, make sure that your last feint is at its fastest. So change your pace right at the end. Make sure to drop your shoulders and really bend the knees during your last fake. Now let's learn the lazy leg feint. By the way, you spectacular, amazing footballer, I don't make these videos to get new subscribers, but it's more for you who's already subscribed. I feel like these detailed tutorials are exactly what you need to improve your game. So if you're enjoying this video and you find it helpful, please comment and let me know. I find it super motivating. So there are two ways to do this feint. You can either do a shallow lazy leg or a deep lazy leg. For this, we're simply going to do an outstep cut, but we will delay the outstep cut by hovering our leg behind the ball for about half a second, and then we do the cut. So we first hop next to the ball with our support leg like that, then angle your attack knee inwards like this, then keep this pose for about half a second, then switch the direction of your leg, and then cut to the other side. So push the ball forward, hop and hover, and then cut. So the hover will be slow, but the switch and cut will be fast. Now to do the deeper lazy leg, we're actually feinting an instep cut. So we hop about half a meter away from the ball like that, drop our shoulder down, angle our leg inwards like this, and then we switch and cut. The shallow lazy leg is best done when you're moving with a bit of speed. The deep lazy leg is better to do when you're moving sort of slow and you do the feint to draw your opponent in and then you cut to the other side. La croqueta. When doing the la croqueta, we do it from a bit of a distance because we want to draw our opponent in. First do an outstep cut feint, so you don't do this straight away. Instead, you will first do the feint and you'll wait for him to do his move. As soon as you see his back leg moving and he commits to the tackle, that's when you'll do this double shift and run to the other direction. To do the double shift part, I like to angle my foot slightly inwards. Then I put my weight on my support leg so that I can pull my body to the side. As you pull your body to the side, you will drag the ball inside as well. After you drag the ball to the side, shift your weight onto your attack leg and then stop the ball with your other foot. So you drag, shift your weight, stop. Angle your support foot inwards as well to stop the ball. First do the feint to bait your opponent in. As soon as they start moving, you do the double shift and run away. Now let's learn the king of feints, the step over. Let's first do it with a still ball. First step next to the ball with your support leg. Then put weight on this ball by dropping the shoulder down so that you can push your body to the side. As you do, you will drop your other shoulder down. It's like that. Then you lift your lower leg up like this as if to cut. But instead of doing the cut, our leg will go around the front of the ball and you'll step behind. Your heel goes around the front of the ball and your leg will drop behind the ball. Please don't step over the ball like that. It looks ugly and you're a spectacular footballer. Your skills look beautiful. Then shift your weight onto this leg. As your attack foot goes around the ball, lift the lower part of your support leg up straight away. By doing this, you can cut straight away without wasting time. First practice it on the spot, then practice it while running. First run at a medium pace, and then do a quick step over and burst quickly. I like to do it from about half a meter away from my opponent. Now let's learn the double step over. When doing a double step over, your first step over will be slow and shallow. Your second step over will be wide and fast. First practice with the ball in one spot. Simply just do this. I like to land on the upper side of my sole over here, close to the edge. This helps me push my body from side to side. Your first step over can be shallow and you don't need to drop your shoulder too much. But your second step over needs to go wide, faster, and you need to drop your shoulder and then cut off straight away. So what is that one skill that you need to have to make your feints super effective? When you have the skill, your opponents will fly away when you do your feints. And that thing is to make your opponent believe deep down in their soul that when you cut and exit, you're going to leave them in the dust. When they are scared of your cut and exit, they will do anything to stop you. When you do your feint, they're going to try and move in towards you as quick as possible. And that's how you fool them. So that's why when certain players do a simple feint, their opponents seem to fall over. because they're scared of their exit. To do really good exits, you have to have fast acceleration and a quick change of pace. If you don't have that, it's okay. You can practice to get that. Simply gliding with the ball at a medium pace, then at a moment's notice, cut, accelerate and run at full speed. If you just practice this drill daily, you should increase your acceleration over time. But if you really struggle and if you think that this direct way of dribbling is not for you, don't worry, there's another style that you can use. And that is zigzagging. Instead of running directly towards your opponent, you move towards their side all the time. When you do this style, your opponent's always chasing you. You're constantly moving away. Then when you throw in feints with this zigzag movement, it makes your feints very effective. That's all for today. I'll see you in our next training session. Goodbye.
Destroy your enemy with dribbling. Learn effective dribbling drills.
I once went up against a very talented, good-looking, popular footballer. He took my dignity by giving me a devastating nutmeg in front of all of his friends. They all laughed at me as my legs folded in real time. Since I had low self-esteem, I couldn't take it. So I dedicated myself to training. And after a few short months, I got my revenge. I destroyed that player and his friends. Let me show you how you can destroy your opponents with dribbling as well. Your enemy, your foe, your opponent, who in comparison to your glorious self, is a squirrel. And he trains like this. But you, my friend, you're a superstar, a destroyer. You train like this. Your drill needs to be high intensity and leave you completely breathless. And for my current unfit fat self, that doesn't take very long. I really need to lay off the chocolate. But we're not mindless beasts that only train with intensity. You think about a match situation, there will be times where you're just moving slowly with the ball. Then there will be times where you have to burst and accelerate. Then there's times where you have to do multiple touches to get away from multiple opponents. The drills that I'm going to go through with you, we are going to keep these things in mind. To be able to do these drills, you need the fundamental abilities of close control and 1v1. If you don't have that ability, please go and watch my previous 2 videos where I go through close control and 1v1 in depth. I'll show you a few easy and effective drills. At the end of the video, I'll tell you how I was able to beat national level players with only 3 months of training. Let's begin. One important skill you have to have is what I call dribble vision. The ability to dribble without looking directly at the ball. To do this is quite simple. I don't look directly at the ball. Instead, I will look at the space above the ball, sort of at this angle. Because from this angle, I can use my peripheral vision. Your peripheral vision is everything that you can see in the blur. Now that I'm looking directly at you, you're in focus, but my hand over here is blur. But this blur is all I need to get information, whether it's an opponent coming towards me or to see where my teammate is. And while the ball's in my periphery, I can move without having to look directly at the ball. The first drill I'm going to show you is going to practice lateral movements. First, we will do 2 instep drags. Push, push. First step in front of the ball with your support leg. Pull your body to the side and drag the ball along. Like that. Then use the side of your foot around your toe bone area to gently push the ball. 1 drag. Then we will step in front of the ball again and do the second drag. It's a simple hop and push motion. Hop, push, push. After the second drag, we're going to switch our stance and then we'll do 2 glides towards the outside. Our foot will first be bent like this, and then to do the outstep cut, we will bend it like that. From this to that. So we will drag and then we'll step next to the ball and then we'll switch our foot to angle outwards. We'll push our body to the side using our support leg, like that. As we do that, we will push the ball along. Then do 2 outstep glides. After your second outstep glide, you'll place your support foot next to the ball. We'll extend our attack foot forward and switch our stance once again. Direct the ball towards your inside. First start doing this with low intensity and slowly so that you understand how the movements work. When you do it slowly, try and do it with dribble vision. You spectacular footballer. Now it's time to get the intensity on. 4 sets of these and I'm finished. Silly chocolates in my belly. When you do it slowly, try and do it with dribble vision. But as soon as you start doing it at your full pace, focus on the ball. So in a game, you'll have constant switching between dribble vision and focusing on the ball. Hold on 1 second. You spectacular footballer. Right now, I'm in a whole new continent altogether. I wonder if you can guess where I am. But let's carry on with the training. I'm actually not too used to a ground like this. It's a bit of a rough terrain, but I do like a good challenge. For our next drill, we're going to do a skill-based drill, because just by knowing a skill by itself is not good enough. We need to be able to do a skill in a match situation. Let me first show you the technique behind the skill. First, start with the ball by your attack foot. We're simply going to shift the ball from one foot to the other by shifting our weight from one foot to the other. Angle your foot sort of straight in line with the ball. Keep the ball close to your toe bone area. And then put your weight on your support leg. We will use our support leg to drag our body to the side, like that. As you drag our body to the side, we will drag the ball along with us. So after you do your drag, try and step as wide as you can. As the ball gets to our support foot, we will simply angle our support foot a bit to the inside, so that we can stop the ball effectively. An effective way to do the skill is by tricking your opponent with your body language. If my plan is to exit in this direction, what I will first do is I will angle my body out this way, so that it looks as if I'm going to run in this direction. After we do the double step, we will shift our support leg to the back, so that we can run off forward like this. After we execute the skill, we have to exit by bursting off. So it's important to practice the part where you burst off with the ball. I just found myself the perfect obstacle. I'm going to pretend that this is my opponent.
First, glide the ball 2 to 3 meters from your opponent. When you get close to your opponent, execute the skill. Then burst off as quick as possible as you exit. Then turn around and repeat the process. As you get used to this drill, increase the intensity.
In this drill, you can replace the double touch skill with any skill that you like. Simply glide towards your opponent, do the skill, and then burst off. Now, if you don't have any nice obstacles such as I do, just use your imagination. Now I'll show you a drill for tight spaces. You first start with the ball under your attack foot. For me, that's my right. I'm going to move from my right to my left, and then I'm going to exit to the right again. Put some pressure on the ball. You should be able to stand on the ball with the pressure that you're putting. Use the front part of your sole to put pressure on the ball, and then lean your body backwards a little bit like this. As you go backwards, you will pull the ball back with you. Keep your foot angled slightly to the side. As the ball goes behind your support foot, you push it to the side. With this area of your foot, we will stop the ball using the sole of our support foot around the front area of our support foot, like that. When I push the ball to the side, I like to do a little hop. So I will push and hop and then stop, like this. See, I can even exit just by doing this. So I pull, push, stop. After this stop, my opponent should go for the ball over there. I will pull the ball back and I will exit in this direction. First, practice this by doing it slowly. 1, 2, 3. Once you get used to the slow movement, try and pick up the pace. Once you're very comfortable with it, try and do it as fast as you can. Keep practicing this 3-move sequence until you're very comfortable with it. Right now, I can do this with my eyes closed. For the next drill, we're going to practice our glide with a sharp cut. In a match situation, you will find that you have to glide slowly, and then you might need to speed up your glide. When you go up against high-level defenders, you want to speed up before you do the cut. So that's what we're going to practice. For my obstacle, all I did was place 2 objects in front of each other. I placed one object here, and about half a meter away, I placed my second object there. My aim is to glide in this direction. As I reach the first obstacle, I need to cut through both of the obstacles. So in order to do that, I have to do a very sharp cut. First, I will glide slowly, and then when I get about 4 meters from my opponent, I will pick up the pace. As I approach the first obstacle, I will do the sharp outstep cut through both obstacles. This will train your ability to run forward and do a sharp cut to the outside. The next drill is one of my favorite drills, but I actually kind of hate it because it gets quite intense. And right now, I'm not even fit enough to do this properly. This is the infinity drill. Place one obstacle here, then about 6 meters away, we will put our second obstacle there. We're going to run from one side to the other. We will make an infinity sign. Run through the inside of the obstacle, turn, and then run through the inside again. Repeat this, creating an infinity sign. The nice thing about this drill, especially when you have this much distance, is that you will practice your glide. You will also develop your ability to turn and glide again. This should build your stamina and your skills at the same time. That's why I like this drill. But right now, this belly of mine doesn't want it. I need to lay off those chocolates. You wonderful footballer, you might be wondering, how do I get faster feet? Well, let me show you. It's simple. To get faster feet, move at your absolute fastest. Sayed, you're telling me to get faster, I must just be faster? That's right. I know it sounds silly. You see, if you move at your absolute fastest today and at very high intensity meaning that your heart beats so fast that you feel like you're going to die, your body will get a signal, and the signal will be, you better improve, otherwise you'll die. When you rest and recover, your body will recover in such a way that it will make you faster. Now let me show you a simple drill that will make your attack foot faster. We will simply make a V shape with our ball using our attack foot. We will roll the ball with the sole of our foot, using the front area of our foot. Push the ball to the side. As we pull the ball back, we will hop with our support foot a bit to the side, so that we're facing this direction, so that I can push it forward, pull back, stop, hop again, then repeat. Now try and do it at your absolute fastest. If I continue doing this for about half an hour at absolute high intensity, my legs are going to be pretty tired. Right, when I rest and recover, tomorrow I'm going to be a slight bit faster. And if you keep doing this over and over again, eventually your feet will get pretty fast. So how is it that I beat those good-looking, popular footballers who had been playing since they were 5, and I only started training at around 15? And with only 3 months of training, I decimated them. That is because even though they had been training since they were 5, they probably put in an average of about 4 hours of training every single week. Whereas when I started training, I trained between 2 and 5 hours every single day. day and I trained with high intensity. Within 3 months, I did years worth of training. It's important to have a very positive mindset when you do this. First, watch tutorials, whether mine or others, to learn proper technique. Once you're comfortable with the technique, you need to train it with high intensity. You will evolve your legs to become faster and stronger. I didn't show you too many drills today. If you want a second part of this video, let me know. Otherwise, you can check out my course at www.bowlerskills.com. I also have many advanced drills over there that you can use as well.
Become a master of air control. Learn the perfect first touch.
When I was young, I was weak, had low self-esteem, girls found me disgusting, but worst of all, I had a very poor first touch. But then I spent hours training under the sun and gained a permanent tan. But I also managed to master the art of the first touch. Let me teach you. There are a few different ways to control the ball and a few different body parts that you can use. You can also use these body parts to do fancy skills. But I don't want you to worry about any of those. We're only going to focus on 3 body parts: the foot, the chest, the thigh. But if you do want to learn a fancy skill, stay till the end of the video and I'll show you an easy one that you can learn. Alright, you spectacular footballer, let's first start with our foot. There are 3 places that you can trap it with: your toes, your instep and your outstep. There are also a few different techniques that you can use when trapping the ball. The first and most basic type is the one where you stop the ball's momentum by applying an opposite and equal force. The ball is dropping directly down. You have to apply equal and opposite force upwards to stop its momentum. I will touch the ball right at the center of the ball. We usually use this technique when juggling. If the ball happens to come at an angle, I would have to touch the ball at an angle as well. Flick your lower leg, so the part under my knee, a quick force upwards. After you touch the ball, just simply move your foot away. So otherwise, it'll bounce off your foot. Now I like to use this part of my foot, the part between my toes and laces. So at the moment of contact, you want your foot to be as stiff as possible so that it's not moving around in too many directions. If you do struggle with locking your ankles, here's a tip that might help you. I squeeze my toes and point it downwards. You also want to touch the ball as close to the ground as possible. If I touch the ball when it's somewhere mid-air like this, it still bounces after I touch the ball. If I touch it close to the ground, less bounce. The best way to practice this is passing back and forth with your friend. Here you go, friend! But if you don't have a friend, the air and a wall will do just fine. Throw the ball in the air. As the ball comes down, flick your lower leg. So the ball comes to you at a slow pace. You'll flick it softly. Simple, soft flick. When the ball comes towards you at a fast pace, you want to move your leg faster, so you'll swing from behind. Once you master the vertical drop, then throw it against the wall. First throw it from a few meters away. Angle your foot downwards so that it's faced the opposite direction that the ball is coming from.
As the ball comes towards you, bring your leg up and flick it forward quickly. Then as soon as it touches, move your leg back quickly.
Then kick the ball against the wall so that there's more speed. At first, you will suck, but that's okay. I used to also suck. My touch was all over the place. But if you practice this 30 times a day, you will receive some gifts. Not from me, but from your body. The first gift you will receive is ball-eye coordination, where at first glance, you'll be able to judge the ball's momentum and trajectory, allowing you to make quality decisions before trapping the ball. The second gift you will receive is the trapping skill muscles, which will allow your body to make finer touches. Okay, you spectacular footballer, now let me show you the cushion technique. Let's first practice the vertical drop. Angle your leg like this. Bend the knee. I like to angle my foot upwards so that I can cushion it between my toes and shin, like this. Throw the ball in the air. As the ball starts coming down, you first lift your leg up. Try and place your foot right under the ball. As the ball comes down, bring your leg down as well. Try and match the momentum of the ball. Then you'll touch the ball and your foot will go down with the ball as well. And just before it touches the ground,
Stiffen your entire leg so that it stops the momentum.
then practice against the wall. Kick the ball against the wall. On return, as the ball comes towards you, stick your foot out slightly, hop back a little bit. This will give you some space to cushion the ball. I hop back and I pull my foot back at the same time, like this. I like to angle my foot downward. I like to use this part of my foot, the part between my toes and laces. So the toe trap is kind of limited. It's hard to change direction straight away. You sort of have to let the ball go past you, rotate your body, and then trap the ball behind you. So if you need to trap the ball and turn straight away, a nice way to trap the ball is by using the instep. The instep works best with the cushion technique. First kick the ball against the wall, then angle your foot slightly outwards. Not super wide like this, but at an angle sort of like this. I like to touch the ball around this area of my foot, and your foot has a bit of a dip over here, so it naturally cushions the ball. On the ball's return, to match the momentum of the ball, you will stand on your support foot. First stick your foot out a bit, so we will use our support leg to rotate our body like that. And then we will cushion the ball as we rotate our body, sort of like this. And then stiffen your foot right at the end. I angle my foot downwards, push the ball back just a little bit so that there's an opposing force, so that the ball reflects off my foot and bounces on the ground. Okay, my friend, I really appreciate the support you guys have been giving me for making these detailed skills videos. My goal in life right now is to be able to do this full time, and I appreciate you guys supporting me in trying to get there. Please comment and let me know if this is helping you. That does motivate me further to make these videos, and also let me know what else you want to learn. Alright, you future superstar. So when the ball comes towards your dominant side, for me, that's my right leg. So if the ball's coming towards my right, then I will use the outstep to trap the ball. The cushion technique works best for this one. Practice by kicking it against the wall, then on return, we'll stick our foot out a little bit, we will hop slightly backwards, and then we'll follow the ball's momentum. I like to touch the ball sort of at the edge, then I angle my foot downwards, and when I'm done cushioning the ball, I'll push the ball down. Now let me show you how to do the chest trap. When the ball comes towards you at a really high angle, it's pretty difficult to use your leg. At that point, using your chest is the most efficient way to trap it. You can do it in two different ways. You can either chest it upwards, or you can chest it downwards. First, you will open your arms out, and you will chest the ball in the center of your chest. The chest trap uses the touch technique. We will counter the ball's momentum with a weird little jerk with our chest. It may look weird, but it works.
First, practice by throwing it in the air. As it lands, bend your body back and reflect the ball's trajectory upwards.
Kick the ball against the wall,
And on return, jerk your chest up to reflect the ball up.
bend your legs to give yourself some leverage.
If the ball is too high, you can hop up and backwards to assist yourself.
The ball's coming at a really difficult angle, then it's always best to chest it downwards. You bend downwards and then chest it down. Please be careful when practicing the chest trap. If it hits you anywhere below the chest, it could knock you out. I've been knocked out a few times before. Now let's learn how to do it with our thigh. If the ball comes straight down, knee upwards, but most of the time the ball will come at you at an angle and below your chest. So first extend your knee outwards. As the ball comes towards you, bring your leg back so that your thigh faces downwards. The ball will hit against your thigh and go down. Now let me teach you how to do a very simple fancy skill. The only prerequisite you need to learn this skill is the foot stall, which is kind of easy to learn. Let me show you. First, bend the knee and angle your toes upwards so that there's a little arc between your shin and toes. Then simply place the ball in that arc. Easy. Now at first, you might lack the balance, so just keep practicing till you get the balance. Once you get the foot stall part right, extend your leg outwards like that. Then gently bring the ball down to your foot like this. As the ball gets down to this part, you will rotate your body. You will flick your leg up. Instead of lifting your leg up straight like that, we will lift it towards the side so that it counters the motion of the rotation. So my body will rotate this way, my leg will rotate backwards. Then we spin around and tap it. If you'd like to master the art of 1v1s, please check out my course at bowlerskills.com. Otherwise, you can check out my other video.
Learn the perfect juggling technique. Quickly get to 100 juggles.
Say it, I hear you ask. Were you born with these spectacular skills? No. When I was born, I couldn't even sit. I only learned that when I was 6 months old. And I learned to juggle when I was 15. It took me a whole 15 years to learn. Actually, I only started practicing when I was 15. Once I started practicing, it didn't take me all that long to get to 100 juggles. Let me show you how you can do it too.
I'll also show you how you can walk and juggle at the same time.
There are many styles of juggling. Some people juggle with their laces, some like to juggle with a backspin, some like to use just one foot. And I have a friend who juggles like this. So which one of these is the correct style? They're all correct. There's no wrong way to juggle. But I personally like to juggle like this. A simple alternating foot juggle with no spin. It just looks nicer. And I like nice things. Now if you're starting out for the first time, you're probably doing something like this. It feels silly and you look silly, but don't worry, you're still a spectacular footballer. Let's just fix your form. Keep your feet closer together, around the same width as the ball. Bend the knees a little bit, arms apart, neck down, chest slightly down. Pretend to be a vertical turtle. This pose has a lot more balance than this pose. Let's first master the single juggle. Hold the ball, drop it from around the height of your thigh. Then we'll tap it up once and catch it. We will drop the ball directly at our center, like that. Now because the ball's at the center, we have to bring our foot towards the center as well when we juggle. And we're going to apply an upward force right at the center of the ball. This way the ball doesn't spin. If it's slightly off center, it's okay. It will still be under control. But if we hit it way off center, the ball's going to fly away. We're going to swing our lower leg. So instead of keeping our entire leg stiff, we're going to swing our lower leg forward. I like to touch it at the middle of my toes. I like to squeeze my toes. I keep my toes straight, but my foot is bent at the ankle. The force upwards has to be gentle, but not too gentle where it doesn't even lift. With practice, you'll get an understanding of how much force you actually need to apply. Now, if you manage to drop it, tap it so that it goes straight up and you catch it. Congratulations, you've just done a perfect single juggle. Now keep repeating this exercise until you're comfortable with your one foot. And once you're comfortable with one foot, practice the same thing with your other foot. Once you're comfortable with both, now we're going to do 2 juggles. When doing the second juggle, some of you might come across this problem. After the first juggle, you just can't seem to get your other leg up to do the second juggle. This is because you're thinking of the technique and your brain is doing all these calculations. By the time you decide to do the second juggle, it's too late. The ball has already dropped. But don't worry, you're still a charming footballer. You have to train yourself to be able to lift your feet both times. Just force yourself to do that second juggle. It's fine if the technique is not perfect. So keep practicing till you get those 2 juggles. You can keep a stick or a line like this in between yourself for reference so that you know to move your foot to the center. And once you get the 2 juggles, congratulations, you've passed the second stage. By the way, guys, I know that you've been requesting the 1v1 video. I am still working on it. I want that video to be as concise as possible, so I'm putting a lot of effort behind it. If you are impatient, you can check out my full dribbling course at www.ballerskills.com, where we show you many types of dribbling and we cover 1v1 there as well. Notice that when I juggle, the ball is very low down and my touches are very soft. But when you first start, your touch won't be that soft. You find that the ball is going higher, and that's totally okay. With regular, consistent practice, your touch will start getting a lot more refined. The secret to getting to 10, 50, 100 juggles is in the effort of trying to break your record every single day. That's how I did it. The technique that I just showed you should be a soft suggestion at the back of your mind. Your focus should be on trying to break your record every single day. Now, if you're serious about getting to 100 juggles, please can you do this? Comment your current juggling record right now. And every time you break your record, please reply to your own comment to update your record. Let's see how many juggles you can get to in 1 month. Now, in your pursuit to break your record every single day, you will find that even though you know the technique perfectly, the ball is still going all over the place and you're running around like a squirrel. But don't worry, you beautiful footballer. This happens because currently your muscles are just not strong enough. But with consistent daily practice, and when you rest and recover, the next day, your touch is a lot smoother than the day before. If you want to learn juggling very quickly, let's say 1 month's time, I suggest that you train between 30 minutes and 1 hour every single day. And in that period, you have to try and break your record. So if your record is 2 today, tomorrow you have to try and get 3 in that 1 hour. If you don't, it's okay. Try again the following day. And if you keep repeating this process, you'll keep breaking your record and your muscles will start getting stronger. If the ball keeps spinning backwards and you don't want it to spin backwards, this happens because you are applying the force at an angle. If I hit the ball straight up and at the center of the ball, there won't be any spin. But if I am slightly angled, then I will slice the ball and the ball goes backwards. Let me show you how you walk and juggle at the same time. It's actually almost the same technique. Instead of moving our foot upwards, we'll just move our foot slightly forward, like that. And as I keep walking, I like to keep my balance on my heel. When I walk and juggle, I don't walk like a normal person. I walk on my heels. It helps me with the balance.
Learn to do devastating power shots. My shots used to be super weak. They used to call me chicken foot. Okay, I lie. Nobody called me chicken foot, but they might as well have because my shots were so weak. But then I learned proper technique and practiced so much that my shot got super powerful. Now they call me gazelle foot. I lie once again. Nobody calls me gazelle foot, but they might as well. In this video, I'm going to dissect the power shot for you so you know exactly how to do it. And at the end of this video, I'll show you how to get accuracy with it and to shoot from different angles. A power shot comes from mass times velocity. The higher the momentum you can get behind your shot, the more powerful your shot will be. That's why you'll find heavy guys who move really slow get serious power behind their shot. And on the other end, you find really skinny guys getting super powerful shots because they get massive velocity. Then you get guys who have both. Let's go through the anatomy of a shot. A shot has 3 main parts: the swing, the contact, the follow through. The swing is the movement of your leg before making contact with the ball. The contact is where and how you touch the ball with your foot. The follow through is the movement of your leg after making contact. To get maximum power behind your shot, your foot needs to be moving at its absolute fastest at the moment of contact, which means that your swing needs to be super fast. Our lower leg, which is knee downwards, moves much faster than our upper leg can. So the speed behind your swing depends on how fast you can move your lower leg. I want you to try this with me. Stand like this. Pretend that the ball is next to your support foot. We are going to swing our leg forward and imagine hitting the ball over here. First, I want you to move only your upper leg. Bring your upper leg back, swing it down faster to a jerk. Now I want you to try the same thing again, but this time move your lower leg. So knee downwards. Bend your lower leg up like this. Swing your leg down as fast as you can. Can you feel how much more powerful a lower leg movement is compared to that of your upper leg? This jerk movement over here is where you're going to get your maximum speed. So when we make contact with the ball, we want to make sure that it's next to our foot and not somewhere in front. We also want our lower leg fully straightened by the time it makes contact with the ball. To do a longer swing, we will first move our upper leg back and then lift our lower leg up. Then we will swing our lower leg down. The bigger the gap between our feet, the longer the swing will be. The best way to get this gap is to simply start far behind the ball, then step forward with your support leg and land next to the ball. And as you do this, lift your lower leg up. Step and lift. Now I have a nice gap between my feet to do the swing. The swing part is where you will generate the momentum. The faster the momentum, the more powerful your shot. The contact and follow through determines how that momentum gets transferred to the ball. You might just do the world's fastest swing, but if that momentum does not get transferred to the ball properly, your shot will be weak, you will feel weak. And we don't want that. Alright, you spectacular footballer, now let's look at contact. We want that momentum to go right through the center of the ball. If it goes on the edges, our shot will lose power. That's why we want to make contact around the middle over here. If it's a bit to the side, it's okay. But if it's way too much to the sides, you will lose momentum. If your foot bends backwards like this, your shot will be weak and you will feel weak. And we don't want that. The lower down the ball touches your foot, the higher the probability that your foot will bend backwards. I find that the best place for me to make contact with the ball is around the center of my foot. This part where I can feel my foot bone. As we step and raise our leg to do the swing, we will first bend our foot back, as far back as possible. Because if our foot is already bent, when we make contact with the ball, it can't really bend further. Makes sense, right? We will then angle our foot a bit to the outside. We also want to keep our ankle and foot as sturdy as possible, so that it further prevents our foot from bending. So keep your foot steady like this and not flimsy like that. Curling my toes backwards like this seems to help me keep my foot sturdy. I know, to get the center of your foot to hit the center of the ball is kind of difficult, but don't worry, let's make it easier. When you approach the ball, if the ball is right at your center, chances are higher that when you make contact with the ball, it's going to hit your toes. Unless you have really tiny feet. Instead, we will approach the ball a bit from the side, so that the ball is in line with our hand over here. If you're a lefty, then in line with your left hand. And then step next to the ball with your support foot. Now remember that we want to make contact with the ball when it's on our side. Imagine that I'm shooting a gun. Instead of shooting with the gun in front of me, I'm going to shoot when the gun is here on my side. The same way, when we pull the trigger, the ball is going to be on our side. As we take this step and lift our leg up to swing, the first thing we will do is we are going to open up our chest by angling our chest to the side. If our chest and hip is faced straight, we actually don't have much range to do our swing. If we open up our chest and hip, we actually have a longer range to do our swing. It also helps us keep our body better balanced. As we step next to the ball, our body will be tilted to the side. This will help our foot get under the ball. So when we make contact, our body is actually leaned to the side. Approaching the ball from the side and tilting our body down is actually quite an awkward position. In order to help balance our body, we will lift this arm over here up, the arm opposing your leg. And as we approach the ball, we will tilt the shoulder down, so it's like this. Chest out, hip out, shoulder down, and this arm out. Now here is the tricky part. As we make contact with the ball, our chest closes and our shoulder lifts up again. So when doing the swing, our body looks like this. As you make contact, it closes up again. It goes from looking like this. As we swing, we close, and it looks like that. So it's like this. Say it! I did a super fast swing, and I made the perfect contact, but I still don't have power. Don't worry, you future superstar. Chances are you're just missing a follow-through. If you have no follow-through, your shot will stop here. Which means that the momentum will also stop here. Your follow-through is simply an extension of your swing. Instead of stopping your swing over here, you will stop your swing over there. One way to know if you did a good follow-through or not is that your body will literally lift off the ground and go forward. Let's look at it like this. As we lift our leg to do the swing, the momentum starts here on our foot. Let's imagine the momentum as weight. As our foot swings down, the weight gets heavier, and then as our foot goes forward, it pulls our body along. So from up here, forward. And the ball just happens to be in the middle of the swing. Ideally, your swing should be at its fastest when it's over here. That way, the momentum will efficiently transfer onto the ball, giving your shot maximum strength. So shooting styles are simply a combination of the swing, contact, and follow through. For example, I do a moderate swing, I make contact with the ball in the middle of my foot, and I sort of do a medium follow through. Cristiano Ronaldo actually does the same technique when the ball is rolling. Of course, his speed is levels above mine, but when Ronaldo takes a shot while the ball is still, he uses a completely different technique. He does a massive swing, makes contact on the side of his foot, and then he does a short, weird, sideways follow through. To do a big swing means that you have to step really wide like this. And since you have to face your chest towards the ball when making contact, your body has to look something like this. Generally, when doing a big swing, it gets harder to do a long and high follow through. So that's why most of the time when there's a big swing, there's a shorter follow through. Except for players like Valverde. He has a very big swing and a big follow through as well. It's almost perfect. When I try a really big swing, I usually mess up the contact and follow through. But he does it perfectly. It's probably why he has such a monstrous shot. Say it! Whenever I try a power shot, it flies onto my neighbor's roof. How do I keep it down? It's simple, my friend. It's either one or two things. It's either that you're hitting it way below the center, making the ball rise upwards. When you do your swing, it does a curve like this. For the perfect shot, you make contact with the ball when your swing is down here. If the ball is slightly in front, you might be making contact with the ball when your swing is going upwards. And naturally, the ball rises upwards with your foot. If the ball doesn't rise at all, chances are you're hitting it above the center. So all you have to do is just hit the ball at the center or slightly below. How do we get accuracy behind our shots? Firstly, let's keep in mind that the technique I showed you does not add any curve to your shot. That's why our follow through goes straight through the ball. If you want to add a curve, the follow through will go to the sides. So the technique that I'm going to show you for accuracy only applies for straight shots. First, we need to make sure that our bearings are straight. Because if the ball is rolling this way and my chest is faced this way as well, but the goals are over here, chances are I'm going to shoot over there. First, look up to see where your target is, where the ball is moving, and how your body is positioned. The second thing you need to make sure of is that your foot is touching the center of the ball. If you make contact on the edges, the ball will definitely not go straight. A technique that I like to use for accuracy is that I point my support toes in the direction that I want to shoot. The swing, my chest faces the ball. But when I make contact, my chest straightens out and faces the direction of my target. And the last thing is that I point my follow through in the direction of my target. So if I make contact with the ball at the center with the center of my foot, my support toes are faced in the right direction, my chest is faced in the right direction on contact, my follow through is in the right direction, the chances are very high that the ball will go where I want it to go. So how exactly do you get a faster swing? You simply just have to build the skill muscle. I've been playing and practicing football for over 20 years, but my shot only got better last year. Because my focus was always control and dribbling, I kind of neglected my shot. Last year I learned proper technique, and since then I took about 500 to 600 shots. Only around shot 200 did I see an improvement. So when you're first starting out, even if your technique is perfect, you still won't have a fast shot. You just have to repeat the technique to build the skill muscle. I'm pretty sure that when I get to around shot 1000, my shot's going to be a lot more devastating than it is right now. The best way to practice is to give yourself a good feedback loop. Repetition by itself is not good enough because there is a chance that you might be doing the technique incorrectly, and repetition is making you master the mistake. Train the following way. Take 10 shots. After every shot, give yourself feedback. So let's say the first shot you take, the ball flies into your neighbor's yard. Give yourself feedback and try and think back. What is it that I did? Did I hit the ball too low? Was the ball too far ahead? If you can figure that out, you'll know not to make that mistake the second time. Let's say on shot 5, you get the perfect shot. Give yourself feedback once again and try and remember what it is that you did that made the shot go perfect. Try and make your body remember that and try and do that again. When you do this, you'll find that you'll be doing the correct technique more often. First, practice with a still ball. To get more power, roll the ball forward gently. When rolling the ball forward, make sure to step in front of the ball so that by the time you swing and make contact, the ball rolls into place. As you might already know, I make these detailed tutorials for you guys who are already subscribed. I don't really make these to get new subscribers because I know that these detailed videos will really help you get to the next level. These detailed videos usually takes me between 24 to 30 hours because a lot of the time I find that what I'm saying and what I'm doing are completely different. So I always give myself feedback when making these videos as well. So this video itself, I've scripted and shot 3 times already. That's why it takes long to make. So I appreciate you guys watching. That's all for today. I'll see you in our next training session. Goodbye. Learn to shoot crazy curved shots. For the longest time, I've been really good at dribbling, but very weak at shooting. I'd watch videos of other YouTubers taking shots, and I'd feel jealous. But then I made the Kaiser Impact video and took hundreds of shots to practice. And then I got good at it. And now, I'm not so jealous anymore. I'll show you the technique behind taking beautiful, delectable, delicious, curved shots. And then, I'll show you the secret sauce that's going to guarantee that you can take these type of shots. Let's go. So you might be asking, Sayed, what is this video? You've already made a Rin Itoshi curve shot tutorial. My brother, my sister, this video is for you. You see, my blue lock videos are aimed at getting maximum retention. They're quick cuts, have little detail, and very fast paced. Honestly guys, I have a full-time job outside of this, and I'd love to do this full-time. And for that, I need more of you guys, more subscribers. So those videos are aimed at getting more subscribers. And this video, for you guys who's already subscribed. I'll be going into a lot more detail into the skills that I'm teaching you so that you can actually understand.
To the skills mobile.
I'm going to teach you how to do 2 different type of curve shots.
The first type of curve goes outwards, then curves in. The second type goes straight, then curves inwards. Let's first learn the outward curve.
And we'll first start by learning how to do it with 1 step. First, position yourself to the side of the ball and slightly behind. And then try and step as close to the ball as possible. Point your toes towards your target. Because I'm positioned to the side and my foot is pointed forward, when I take the swing, my body will automatically rotate. Then we're going to do the swing. Now for the swing, when you take that step forward, there's a gap between your legs, which is a perfect setup for you to do the swing. All you have to do is just lift your leg up. You want to swing straight through the ball, going forward. Your foot's going to be angled outwards. I usually hit the ball around the toe bone area of my foot, and sometimes around the laces, but the toe bone's like the sweet spot for me. If you're further from the target, you want to hit it as low as possible. And now you don't want to go too low where you hit it into the stands. If your target is closer to you, you want to hit it as close to the center as possible. Maybe like a few millimeters from the center. That's like the sweet spot. Make sure to keep your foot sturdy. Don't have it flimsy where it's moving around like that. Because if you keep your foot flimsy, when you strike the ball, your foot's going to bend a bit too much. And that's going to make you lose power and accuracy. When you strike the ball, you want to strike it straight through the ball. Don't hit it on the edge. If you hit it on the edge, you're going to get a lot more spin, but you're going to lose power. Instead of the force goes straight through the ball, you're going to get a lot more power. The angle of your foot and your follow-through is actually going to make it curve.
Your swing should have maximum acceleration at the time of contact. And how do you get acceleration?
Let me show you something interesting.
If I move my upper leg only,
Knee upwards, it looks weird and doesn't move all that fast. But if I move only my lower leg, knee downwards, it moves much faster. The secret of getting massive acceleration is by using your lower leg. When I step for the shot, I'm going to lift my lower leg as high as I can. My upper leg is just going to move my body a bit forward, and then it's going to stop at the level where it's by my knee. From this position, my lower leg is going to do the rest of the movement. It's going to swing and go through. After striking the ball, your follow-through will actually go upwards and to the side, and you sort of curve your leg around. It has to go outwards like that. Now you might be wondering, Sayed, what exactly is a follow-through? When I was young and dumb, I used to do the follow-through like this. I would swing my leg, strike the ball, but then I would stop the momentum and then push my leg forward. No power, no joy. The follow-through is just an extension of your swing. So when I swing, instead of stopping my swing here, I will stop my swing somewhere there. When you're doing a power shot, the follow-through is pretty simple. It's one straight movement through the ball. So when you do the
outward curve,
your follow-through is going to be a bit more outwards. After the follow-through goes upwards, you want to swing it to the side. Now a nice way that I can get that curved movement is by actually angling my body sideways like this.
Once you're comfortable doing it with 1 step, then try it with a run-up.
The run-up is just going to give you a lot more acceleration. One thing I like to do is to keep my chest down when I do the run-up. Because when you swing and if your chest is upwards, it's going to go a bit too high.
Then do it while the ball is moving.
Now when you're taking a shot while the ball is moving, the problem is by the time you take your swing, the ball rolls away. So the best thing you can do is actually step in front of the ball, so that by the time you swing, the ball rolls next to your foot. The second type of curve is the one that curves inwards. To do this one, the steps are actually pretty much the same. The main difference is going to be the follow-through. When I did the outwards curve, my follow-through was outwards like that. But now that I want to curve it inwards, my follow-through is going to curve inwards like that. It's a bit weird. Remember the fundamental is that you will point your toes towards the direction you want to shoot. My body will automatically rotate. So this foot will act as a pivot, and then I will swing right through the ball. My follow-through is going to go straight and then curve inwards. Now it's time to share with you the secret sauce that's going to guarantee your ability to take curved shots. And that secret is repetition.
That's obvious.
He needs some milk.
Let me explain. What I showed you up until now was just technique. When it comes to mastering a skill, you need two things: technique and skill muscles. And the only way you can build skill muscles is through constant repetition of a technique.
Learn to power volley like Cristiano Ronaldo. Since you're exactly like me, which means you have no friends, you have to practice this by yourself. Let me show you how. First, throw the ball up and slightly in front of you. You will step in front using your support leg. As you step forward, you want to lift your attack leg up as high as you can. Step, lift. Angle your attack foot downwards like this, so that when it's time to make contact, your laces should be facing the ball. If the trajectory of the ball is over here, I will step next to the ball so that the ball is by my side. When the ball drops down, I will angle my body a bit to the side so that my chest is facing the ball. This should make it much easier for me to swing my leg and make contact with the ball. When the ball is about a hand's length in front of you, that's when you will start the swing, so that by the time the ball drops below your knee, you're ready to make contact with the ball. If you want to get massive power like Cristiano Ronaldo, you're going to need to swing your leg very fast. But if you're a beginner, it's going to be difficult to swing your leg fast and make contact at the ball at the right spot. So if you are a beginner, rather focus on making proper contact with the ball. And the absolute sweetest spot to make contact with the ball is this part over here, the part where your ankle bends. When the ball drops down, guide your foot towards the ball. After you make contact, you want to follow through. The follow through is just an extension of your swing. Instead of stopping your swing here, you will stop your swing over there. Throw the ball up, step, lift, and guide your foot to the ball. Keep practicing slowly like that until you're very used to it. Once you're used to guiding your foot towards the ball, pick up the pace by swinging your foot faster. Then learn some social skills so that you can make some friends to practice with. Learn to control the field with your passes. Become a genius footballer. Do you want to impress your teammates and coaches with your beautiful brain? I'll show you a super fun way to become a football genius with today's sponsor, FIFA Rivals. Your basic job as a genius playmaker is to get the ball into dangerous positions. Positions which increase the probability of your team scoring. These over here are the most dangerous positions. Sometimes all it takes is a simple pass into this position to create a goal scoring opportunity. But oftentimes these positions are heavily guarded by defenders. That's when you have to get really creative. But before we can cook up creative plays, we need the basic skill of passing. So let me show you two simple and two advanced passes, which you can use for these plays. The ground pass. To do a basic straight ground pass, first step next to the ball with your support leg. Point your toes in the direction that you want to pass. Then bend the lower part of your leg up. Your leg has to be shaped like this. Then angle your attack foot outwards like that, so that the side of your foot is exposed. We will make contact with the ball right at the center, using the middle part of our instep. Then swing your lower leg down as quick as you can. The faster you can swing your lower leg, the harder the pass will be. To get a bit more power and distance, we will add a follow-through. The follow-through is just an extension of your swing. Without a follow-through, your swing will stop here. With a follow-through, your swing will stop there. There are times where you might need to do a curved pass, such as when there's an opponent standing in your way. It's the same technique as a straight pass, but this time our foot won't go straight through the center. Instead, it's going to slice at an angle. For a normal pass, our follow-through will go straight through. For a curved pass, our follow-through will go through the side. Now, if you need to make a pass into the distance, we'll change the technique a bit. The technique we're going to use is somewhere in between a short pass and shooting. Take one big step back and one small step to the side so that the ball is at an angle from you. Then hop and step next to the ball with your support leg. Then lift your lower leg up as you do so that it creates a gap. We'll angle your attack foot sideways and tilt it downwards like that so that our laces are exposed to the ball. Try to make contact with the ball around the middle of your foot. We'll make contact with the ball right at the center or slightly above. You don't want to go below, otherwise the ball will rise. Then we will swing through the ball. Since we step from a weird angle, our balance is a bit off. So to counter the balance, we will drop our shoulder down and we will lift our opposing arm up. Our follow through will stop here. If you want your long pass to go straight, then your follow through will go straight through the ball. If you want to curve your long pass, then your follow through will go towards the side. We're going to use this same technique, but this time we're going to pass it in the air. The technique is exactly the same as before, but this time we will make contact under the center of the ball. You want to swing your leg as low as you can so that you can get under the ball. If you want to float the ball straight, then your follow through has to go straight through the center of the ball. If you want the ball to curve, you will do the same thing as before, but this time your follow through will slice through the side. Now that you know the technique, the most efficient way to practice passing is with a wall. So find yourself a nice wall. For short passes, stand 2 meters away from the wall and then pass it back and forth continuously. And you can do the same for longer passes. Another skill you need to have is the ability to run around with the ball without directly looking at the ball. Because if you're constantly looking at the ball, you won't be able to see the gaps that open up in your opponent's defenses. So to learn this, first practice by looking in the area above the ball so that you can see the ball in your periphery and you can see what's happening around you. Once you get very comfortable running around without looking directly at the ball, that's when you can start practicing by not looking at the ball at all. Once your legs are accustomed to the technique, that's when you can start thinking about vision and playmaking. I found a really fun and effective way to practice playmaking. For that, we will use FIFA Rivals. It's free on iOS and Android. Go ahead and download it on your phone. So let's jump in.
I'll show you how you can use this to level up your playmaking. It's super simple to play. It's turn-based. When you have the ball, the player with possession can either pass or move forward. And in the same turn, you can move the direction of your other players. But you only have a few seconds, so you have to think quick. Perfect for football IQ. When the opposition has the ball, you can move your players' directions and target specific players to tackle by clicking on them. Let me show you some playmaking. Scenario 1. Kubo has the ball at the center. Let's send Son to the left and Ronaldo forward. Let's move forward with Kubo. Fernandes here can run up the wing. Ronaldo is in a good position. Let's pass to him. Son is in the perfect position to exploit, but he could get cut off by this defender, so I'm going to use the wing. Let's bring Son and Ronaldo forward. Ooh, I'm in a beautiful position. A lemon move. I should have sent Son there earlier. I crowded my own attack, but I managed to get the strikers in a dangerous position. Let's go again. Let me send it to the midfield. I'm going to bring Ronaldo in and make Fernandes make a run forward. What a spectacular play. Now a 1v1 with the keeper. I suck. Another scenario. They've left the center completely open, so I'm going to exploit. Let me bring Ronaldo in play. I'm going to make Son overlap here. This should overwhelm their defense. I'll take this open position to let Ronaldo run in place. An easy through ball to Ronaldo. Let's run a bit forward. And goal. You see, even in a real game, this is how you would think. Try to take the ball up by passing into free positions. If you can't find free positions, pass around or run with the ball to try and open up the play. Then your opponent might do a potato move and bunch up like this, leaving your team free to move up. While your opponents hold a conference, you score an easy goal. This is fun. Let's do another. I just intercepted the ball. Let's bring Son into the center. His defense is napping over there. Even though I'm moving forward, the defender stayed behind, giving me a lot of space. So it went from 3v2 to 2v2. It's important to notice the direction the opponents are running in. He's going to the right, so I can try and curve to the left, but I'll play it safe. So a pass to Son on the left, and he's completely free. And an easy goal. Let's go again. Let's pass to Sema in the midfield. Their defense is heavy on the left, so I'm going to move my players to the right. A pass to Xhaka, and their defense has already crumbled. An easy pass to Son. Let's go to zone 17, and an easy goal. I'm getting good at this. If you download this, maybe I'll get to verse you. By the way, you can collect, trade, and even sell digital cards. There are also live events and global tournaments. And currently, it's Adidas season, so you can collect limited edition Adidas collectibles. So I'm personally developing my football IQ using FIFA Rivals. Even though it's super quirky and hyped up, the playmaking part is very realistic. So you can definitely use this to level up your football brain. So go ahead and practice the passes I've shown you, and then practice playmaking on FIFA Rivals. That's all for today. I'll see you in our next training session. Goodbye.